One of the worst examples of persuasion gone wrong is an email I received a couple of days ago. In that email, which was from a bank, which is a whole nother story, really. Why am I subscribing to emails from a bank? Mostly because I like to see what they're up to, and I like to see their arguments, and I like to see the way that they're trying to persuade and convince me to buying into their stocks or taking up some sort of loan or doing something that they will profit from eventually. Now, I want to say, with respect to moral and ethics, they've never been sort of like the my go-to guide, so to speak. However, if you just accept on the face of it, the banks by and large will always lie to you in your face, and they will always pretend that they know the best, or that they know what's best. But what they really are, they're just sneaky snake oil salesmen is what they are. They're clad in suits, and all they want to do is sell you something so that they can make money from you, and make money from your money. That's really what they are. That's what their goals are. So I receive routinely these new email newsletters about how we must all think about climate change and how the poor children in Africa and other third world countries are starving, and how you can give a gift to help a child, which, by the way, isn't a bad idea. I support helping the poor, absolutely do. I'm not exactly sure about climate change because that's such a loaded statement. Are there climate changes? Yes. Are they as severe and impactful as the media and the world and the banks want us to believe? No, they're not. Is there a climate crisis? No. Is there a climate knowledge crisis? Absolutely. But, well, whatever. The point is, so routinely I receive these emails from my bank about these morally high ground principles, and about how you should support the poor, how you should think more about nature, how you should think about climate change, etc., etc. However, a couple of days ago, I received an email newsletter entitled "Eyes Directed Towards the Middle East," and then followed like this long charade and bragging list about their funds and stocks and investments portfolios and whatever that had increased the equivalent of 2 years worth just during the first 2 months of this year, which is kind of horseshit if you think about it, because maybe it goes down the next 2 months, right? That's number one. But number two is really the failed persuasion at hand. Cause this is a line, and I'm gonna probably butcher the quote a little bit. This is just me paraphrasing, but essentially is what the bank wrote in its email newsletter is the following: Our eyes of the analytics, the eyes of the analytics are now directed towards the situation in the Middle East. How do we assess it? And what are our views? I mean, honestly, are you sitting there admitting to actually calculating the situation so that you can profit and make more money from war? Is that what you're telling me? We all know they do that regardless. That's fine. Every single bank does that. Every single stock, well, not every single, but a lot of stock investors do that. They invest in weapons and military manufacturing stocks, which of course skyrocket now that there is a war going on. But the bank admitting to actually looking towards the Middle East to assess the situation, that's just them not wanting to write directly about how they're looking for stocks to invest in, such as, for instance, military manufacturing equipment stocks, military equipment manufacturing stocks, gas, oil, etc., etc. Because that's what they're doing. And once again, I'm not gonna sit there and preach about moral and ethics because I'm as flawed as anybody. I just admit it. Also, I don't try to tell people what to invest in or not. If you want to invest in stocks and bonds that are tied to the military, then do so. I don't really care personally. But I do care when you're talking about ethics and moral and nature and climate change and helping the poor, and then you at the same time want to make money from war. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 148 people who were killed in a strike against a school. Most of them students, most of them pupils, most of them I think even young girls. It's a horrible tragedy. And you're a bank and you want to assess this, or you want to assess the whole situation, which includes a missile strike towards a girls' school so that you can make money, and at the same time you want to preach ethics and moral about green investments? Seriously, fuck off. Seriously. Anyway, persuasion failed. Persuasion gone wrong. This is the bank being two-faced. Don't trust it, and don't trust anybody who wants to preach about ethics and moral when it comes to investments, because they all want the same thing. Make more money from whatever, whether it's someone's tragedy or someone's victory. It doesn't really matter. If you want to learn more about persuasion and sales for businesses, then get subscribed to my email list. The link to do so is in the episode description wherever you're watching and or listening to this, and I'll see you there.